Every time I try to get out, they pull me right back in. That's what I find.
So usually I'm a big time advocate that the development comes in practice and training, not the game. The game is reward. We practice on Wednesday for an hour. If we don't have a tournament on Saturday, sometimes we'll go for a couple hours on Saturday. But for the most part, our development has to come from the games, because we have a total of 24 kids, 2 teams of 12. And if anybody's coached out there, you know how difficult it is to juggle 12 kids in playing time, especially if this is where your development is going to come from. So what we did was we broke the 2 teams of 24, 2 teams of 12 into 3 teams of 8. That way kids can get more playing time, and, and guys have to stay on the floor longer, and everyone gets more opportunity. And, we can get more development that way.
So we broke the 24 boys up into 3 teams. So we have Skill Center Elite White, Skill Center Elite Orange, and Skill Center Elite Black. And let me just go through a quick breakdown of who's on what
White,
team.
you have J.T. Tipton, J. London Bivens, Jermel Jones, Willie Piggott, Santonio Isaac, Robert Parker, JoJo Philon, and Caleb. On Orange, you have Jacob Douglas, Rashif Sinkfield, Reed Crotwell, AJ Jones, Dion Pierre, Braylon Moore, DeQuan Hall, and Carter Raines. On Black, you have Amari Wright, Austin Leftwich, Brian Vargas, Morty Hanlon, Huntley Nicholson, Malik Sosa, Luis Miranda, and Joshua Patrick. Look, I've heard it all. I heard the you're going to lose games because you have all your talent spread out among the 3 teams. So what? I mean, I promise you, I could care less about the win as far as it comes to, doing what's right to help these kids develop and give them more opportunity. I promise you, I don't care about the win. Now, as far as me coaching, I'm going to coach the win. As far as me, getting fiery within the game or whatever the case may be, yeah, I'm going to do that because at the end of the day, I'm a competitor. But I'm not going to sit around and try to, just super stack my team up and forget about the kids' development, just to win basketball games. It's not what it's about, man. With the skill center, it's about development. Regardless of what some might say, it is about development, and these kids develop. And I want to say one more thing about splitting the teams up, and then I'm going to move on. It's not an A, B, or C team type of setup. If it was an A, B, or C team, the demographics of this team would look a lot different than they currently look. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to match kids up and put kids in the situation to where some have to lead, some can't defer, and for others to step up. Look, I'll be honest, I would love for my son, JoJo, to be on the black team, because if he's on the black team, he gets a lot more opportunity to lead and handle the ball and do different things. But in calibration with the coaches, the decision was made to put him on the white team. Look, I could care less if he lost every game on that black team, because he would have a lot more opportunity to get better, to get his hands dirty, and to have to lead and do a lot more. And to me, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. So I took my break from coaching, and at the time we were 17-4. And then Coach Will ended up taking over while I took my break. And in a very tough schedule, they finished 11-5. What I got back from Coach Will was a tougher, more physical team. And he was able to get something out of the boys that I was, never able to get out of him. And it made my job a lot easier. My first tournament back coaching is AAU States, and we're going with 7 kids. We don't have Big Will. He's not going to be with us for this tournament. And we're in a pretty tough pool, man. We have Orlando Dream Team and also St. Cloud Kings. 2 really good teams. looking forward to it, man. And see what happens. See, this is another one of those tough games that I have to be able to pull out. Now, we go up 1 late in the game. So there are 9 seconds. There's 9 seconds left on the clock. And I'm thinking, maybe we'll go 2-2-1, 3/4 court press to slow things down, to make them run some clock, to make them think about it. And if they rush, we can get a trap. But I was thinking, we haven't been playing the back of that press, very well. We give up a lot of layups on it. But then JT comes over and he asks me, are we going to go 2-2-1, 3/4 court press, in which we call it 75. Part of his development and what I'm working on for him is him to be more of a vocal leader. So a lot of times when, we get into timeout situations, or if we're shooting free throws, I'll call him over. I'll ask him, what do you see? What's going on, or, whatever. And he makes suggestions, and he's been doing that a lot more. So I think it was the right call to make, to go 2-2-1, but we don't play the back very well. But to go ahead and follow through with his development, we went 2-2-1 and we got burned. And let me walk you through what should have happened, but what actually happened. All right, so I had to pull out my clipboard to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So there's 9 seconds on the clock. We jump into our 2-2-1 press, in which we call 75. Now, we've been playing man-to-man the whole game, so they're used to us. They're used to the 40 minutes of hell that I call man-to-man. But this is the first time we threw something different at them, and they only have 9 seconds. So when they inbound the ball, the kid does what he's supposed to do. He turns around to survey the court. But again, he only has 9 seconds. So the coach yells to him, go. And that's exactly what we want him to do. We want him to force the action and go. So as he dribbles up the sideline, he pushes the ball up the sideline. London comes over and he rides him up the sideline, running right next to him, forcing the action, giving him a false sense of security that he has him beat, leading him right into the trap where Jamel's going to come over and set the trap. Here. Drop my pen top. All right, so this guy comes and he cuts the middle off because we don't want a pass to go to the middle. And This guy rotates back, and Tony, who's our back guy, he's supposed to rotate over and cut this pass off, get in front of this guy here. So if he makes this pass, Tony's big and athletic enough to jump up and intercept that pass. The only pass once Jamel comes over, the only pass that should be available is a pass back to his outlet guy that's back here. And that's fine if he throws the ball back there for two reasons. One reason is because his basket is this way. He's going the wrong way. But number two, remember, he only has 9 seconds on the clock. So he has to go forward. Now, this is where we dropped the ball because everybody did what they were supposed to do. And this is where I say we don't play the back well. So Tony was playing it safe and protecting his basket more and not coming over to cut this pass off. And he allowed this guy to catch. So once this kid catches, and this kid was about 6'2", 6'3", very strong kid, one of the best players we played against all year. He was able to catch, make a hell of a play, hell of a strong play to get to the basket, get a tough layup at the buzzer to win the game. And I'm gonna run the actual clip back so that you can see exactly what happened. To Tony, we haven't worked on 75 for a while. It was the first time we threw it in the gut little minute. But you know, your average kid doesn't make that play. I mean, that kid was he's a little different. But overall, pretty good game. Started slow, but we didn't pull it out. All right, so unfortunately, I'm missing clips from some of the games. Some of the games I don't have any footage of, and I'll just kind of talk through them. Usually my wife takes clips during the games, but for whatever reason, she decided that she wanted to hold babies and stuff during the games, so I don't have footage. But we played the St. Cloud Kings, which is really good, scrappy, man. Team with a lot of heart and very well coached. One of the best, coaching crews that we've gone up against. And it was a really tough game. They were picking us apart early. We were down 18. They spread the floor. They had their shooters there. And one of the things I take a lot of pride in is being able to make the adjustments during the games on the fly. And we were able to get back into it and actually cut the lead to 1. Down the stretch with about 12 seconds on the clock, JT drives baseline, picks up his dribble, head fakes, steps through, makes a nice bounce pass to JoJo. JoJo lays it in for what looks like a game winner for us to go up 1. The ref called travel. I mean, it wasn't a travel, but the ref made the call. And out of character for JT, he gets the ball out of the net and he slams it down. Ref tees him up, calls a tech. So they go to the line. They hit a couple free throws. St. Cloud Kings win by 3, 43-40. We lose another close one. So at that point, I mean, we're pretty much out. We drop down to the silver bracket. The teams, they had the game scheduled for really late in the evening on a Sunday night. The teams that were in that pool, we would have easily beat by 30, 40 points. But so we just didn't show up. So we ended up taking a forfeit. And that was our run at states. So our next tournament is in Tampa. It's the Scale Center Mayday Hoop Fest. This is our signature tournament. We'll be trying to defend the house. We'll be playing without Will in this tournament, and as well as JoJo. He's still out on injury. In our pool, we have Manatee Pal and a team called Game Speed that we haven't seen. So let's see how it goes.
Hey, Jesse, you showing out for Jessica?
So then our next tournament, we had the NYBL Regionals in Orlando at the Gaylord Palms. Great venue, man. Very expensive, though. I mean, it was charging $15 a day to watch the games, but also $25 a day to park. So for a parent to watch their kid play basketball for that weekend, it's like $125 each parent. During this tournament, we're missing crazy. Two of our normal starters. We're missing Santonio Isaac and also Jamel Jones is out for this tournament. And my son Jojo, he broke his thumb playing. He played for his school, and he broke his thumb in the Final Four game. So he's out for the rest of the season. So we're missing those three players, and we're going into this tough NYBL tournament. Now, I scouted this team. I watched them play. I want to say the Each One Teach One Rebels before we played them. And I told the boys before we started, you guys are about to play against the best scoring guard that we have seen in a long time. This kid can score, man. So we played in the MIT this weekend, which is the Maryland Invitational Tournament. That's right up in Maryland. So we flew up there. A couple other people drove, but we're going up to this. We went up to that tournament shorthanded. So we went to that tournament missing. JT was out. Will did not go to that tournament. Jermel didn't go to that tournament. So those are three of our first five. And then JoJo, who's our sixth man off the bench, he didn't go to that tournament. So the black team didn't play in this tournament. So we ended up pulling Josh Patrick up from the black team to run with us for this. But also, too, I saw that, down the stretch, we were going to be missing players. So I ended up adding, actually in the NYBL tournament, we added a couple players, Isaac and Isaiah, the twins. They used to practice with us all the time last year. We ended up, bringing them back and putting a uniform on them. But, because we split the team up into 3 teams of 8, if I would not have pulled Josh up or added them, we would have went into this tournament with 4 kids. We would not have been able to play. Also, too, if you watch season 1, Mason Odrick, who actually moved to New York, he actually is still on our team. When we do out-of-state tournaments, he usually comes. So he's living up in New York, and we were in Maryland, so he actually flew in, and he joined us for this tournament and actually played pretty well, man. He did a good job. Our first game, So our next tournament is Balling on the Beach down in Miami, Florida. One of the best tournaments in the state of Florida. To me, the best tournament I've ever been a part of or participated in. Really good teams from all over the nation. We go into it. The only kid that we're missing for this tournament is JoJo. So we have everybody together. We ended up moving the twins to the black team. There's a kid from South Tampa Kings that, if you look at some of the earlier episodes, he's hitting threes left and right. I mean, the kid can flat out score and shoot the basketball. He had MJ on the back of his jersey, if you go back and look at those episodes. But he ended up, he was going to be joining our team next season for season 3. But since this was our last tournament, we ended up letting him fill in and take JoJo's spot. And he jumped in. So we're at full steam. First game was against Jacko out of Philadelphia. Jacko started out in Tampa with his travel teams, but he moved up to Philadelphia. He got a job with the Sixers. And his team is the best team we have ever played, that I've ever coached against. His front line was, and remember, we're 6th grade. His front line was 6'7", 6'4", 6'2". Our biggest kid is about 5'9". And, we went man-to-man on them. We were going to make them beat us from the outside. Anything went inside. And remember, when Will coached, I said he got back a tougher, more physical team. I think our toughness really helped us in this game. We were able to, when they dumped inside to the bigs, we were able to close out and pinch down. When they threw it back out to the shooters, we were able to close out. We played them man-to-man, but also, too, offensively, what Jacko likes to do is he likes to play full court man-to-man. He makes his small four or his 4 guards push up and play man, but he lets his bigs sit back and wait. But remember, we play positionless basketball around here. So everybody just went down court, and our bigs brought the ball up. And Tony and Will, who people would consider our bigs, they ran our offense 90% of this game. We spread the floor because Jacko stayed man, so we made his big guys have to move their feet and defend. We put shooters in the corners. We put slashers in the short corner. So when Will had the ball up top, Will attacked the gap and drove. If the help came, he kicked to the shooters. We let it fly. If the help didn't come, he went all the way to the basket and tried to make a play at the basket, in which he did, man. He played a great game. I just hate I don't have footage of this game. If Will drove, he kicked to the shooters. If the help came and the shooter would dump down to the slasher, then we was getting a layup. And it was a chess match, man. We were winning this game 75% of the game. We were up as much as, I want to say, 9 points was our biggest lead, but we were up by 8 to 4 points most of the game. And until Tony and Will actually both picked up 4 fouls in back-to-back possessions, I had to sit them down. In hindsight, I should have just kept them on the floor. We scored 3 points the last 6 minutes of this game, and Jacko ended away running away with it, man. We didn't close out on their shooters. They got into their mojo. They were hitting shots, and they ended up beating us 52-32. They beat us by 20. This is our first blowout of a game. This is our first blowout of the season. Georgia Elite Prodigies, and a lot of people were watching the game, and they felt like if we played them again, we'd beat them. I don't know. It was refreshing to see, because I follow Jacko on Instagram. We follow each other. We talk all the time. And I saw one of his assistant coaches posted on his Instagram that they were watching film. After the game, they went back to the hotel and they was watching film of our game, where he was breaking down and showing them exactly what I was doing. So people can say what they want about us. Jacko is a great team, man. They've beaten Team Durant. They've beaten Black Ops. They've beaten the Gauchos. They are definitely a top 5-10 team in the nation. And we were right there with them, man. About 75% of that game, we were right there with them. And had some.
them to come back up. Force them baseline. And this is the worst ball hand on the floor. We let them go middle. That's the play I'm talking about. Ace, you said you was there. You said, wait, you said I was there. Were you there, Ace?
So as we move into bracket play, we draw Powerhouse Bulls, which one of my college teammates, he's affiliated with Powerhouse. And he was telling me how good their 6th grade team is, and he would love to see us match up against them. And also I got a text from the Balkman Elites coach, Vernon Lee. He texted me, good luck with those grown men, because Powerhouse goes, 6'5", 6'3", 6'2", they're big too. And so I text him back, hey, they can't be no bigger than Jacko. And but they actually beat Balkman Elite in the at IMG. They beat Balkman Elite 41-14. So we draw them next. And to start this game out, the coach didn't take us seriously. I mean, we're a smaller team. He didn't even stand up and coach. He sat down with his legs crossed, and we came out like we didn't want to play. They jump out on us like 14-1. And I said I wasn't going to yell that whole weekend, but I had to yell, man. A lot of fire.
Sit down.
Yeah. Yes. Get down here.
Stay on it, Luggage.
At the end of the day, man, you know, we missed free throws, we missed layups, we missed opportunities to win that game. Me personally, I think we ran out of gas. You know, playing against Powerhouse was a really tough game for us that morning to start out. Even though we beat KT Kings handily, they never gave up. They never stopped fighting. You know, again, remember, we only have 8 kids, so trying to rest guys and hold, even when we try to stall and hold the ball to run the clock out because we were up by 20 plus, they never stopped coming. They kept coming, so we kept having to play. And then Lakeland Fire, very tough, aggressive, scrappy, well coached team. Anytime you play them, they're gonna take a lot out of you. I thought we ran out of gas at the end, but again, I got to find a way to win those close games. Another game that we lose by 3 points. But we finished the season at 40-17. Really good year. Probably the best schedule. We played the best schedule we've ever played. Aggressive schedule. But a really good job, man. All of the kids have gotten better. I didn't have any footage of the orange team and the black team, but also Orange actually won AAU states, that state tournament we played in. Orange actually won state. Black made it to the Final Four and the bronze, that silver bracket in states, the one that we didn't show up for. So a really good year across the board, man. I think everybody improved. All of the kids improved. I'm really happy with how things went. So next up, we just have our banquet. Hopefully, pretty sure it'll be really nice. Looking forward to that. It's going to be on August 10th, and then we do it again next year, man. But I say all that to say this. But my rant is over. Philon out.